5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're now tuned into the 411 podcast and reading Between the Wines, powered by the Black Diamond Consultations Network. More than a podcast, this is a sanctuary for self-discovery, healing, and personal growth. Here, we explore what it means to live debt-free, not just financially, but spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Every episode is part of a journey across our weekly mentorship series: Spiritual Sundays, Mental Mondays, Transformational Tuesdays, Wind Down Wednesdays, Coaching Sessions Thursdays, and Financial Fridays. Each day holds space for wisdom, clarity, and real conversation. So grab your journal, pour your glass, and prepare to go beyond the surface. Because here, we don't just talk, we transform. And now, here's your guide through it all: entrepreneur, mentor, and founder of Black Diamond Consultations, Laren Gaines.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Reading Between the Wines. It's Wind Down Wednesday, episode 39. She left, but I'm still paying for it. This is part of the Black Diamond Consultations mentorship series. We have very special guests coming in tonight, author Birdman 313. This is going to be a powerful episode. I know I always say that this is going to be an amazing episode. We're going to have a great show, but tonight I feel it in my spirit that this is going to be a powerful episode. I'm titling it Powerful because I'm speaking from real life experiences, and only thing that I can do is just relate and go along this journey right along with you. So let's get into it tonight. Track 39, She Left, but I'm still paying for it. Before I go ahead and move forward, I want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who likes, comments, shares, supports the movement. If you're out there listening, I want to say thank you so much. Let's go ahead and make this thing even more powerful. Please do me a favor and share this with anybody that you feel could benefit from this opportunity right here tonight. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, tag a friend, retweet. I want to apologize to the people out there on X. Hopefully we're up and running. I know we've been dealing with some technical difficulties out on that aspect. It's like, it is what it is. But I want to apologize for the people out there who have been missing the episodes on X. We're going to get this thing fixed. But we're still here. We're still rocking. We're still rolling. And again, of course, I could not do this without each and every one of you out there who support. And I want to give a very special thank you to my executive producer. I want to thank God for giving me another opportunity to come out here and do what I love to do best, giving me another opportunity to connect with so many different individuals across the globe. I realized that there is no turning back. I got to a certain point where I'm like, even sometimes I'm still amazed myself. I never want to come out here and act like I made it. I never want to come out here and act like I'm bigger and better than, because I still go through everyday life situations just like each and every one of you. But I am still amazed at the progress, and I'm still amazed, where we have evolved at here today. And I'm just thankful for it. And of course, I have an obligation to give to the Black Diamond community, and that's why we're still here giving you awesome content such as Reading Between the Wines. So we're here, and again, thank you. And we're going to move on here. We are sampling some great wine tonight. I got a very special surprise when it comes to the wine right here from New Jersey. We're sampling Down the Shore, Wine Swept White. This is a white wine from Laredo Winery from New Egypt, New Jersey. And yes, I had an opportunity to visit this winery over the weekend. And what an amazing place to be at. I just want to say, out of all of the wineries that I have visited in my home state of New Jersey, this is a beautiful place to be at. And I'm definitely going to give you this experience tonight, and of course, sample this Down the Shore wine. Excuse me, It's called Down the Shore Windswept White. It's a white wine from New Egypt, New Jersey. So we're gonna get into that tonight. Of course, we're gonna continue on our Money Hacks book, and of course, Birdman 313. And we got some work to do. So this is a powerful episode, but of course, we have some work to do so we can handle our business and help some people out here tonight. So the last episode, we helped out Mr. Anthony from Chicago. And only thing that I can say about last episode was breaking generational keywords, breaking generational curses, breaking out of these cyclical cycles. It's like Anthony was stuck in a trance of what he was programmed with as a child, and the voice that he didn't have as a child, and he was covering it up. And a lot of times there's things that we have gone through in our childhood experience, and we do a great job of covering it up. I think of my girl Mary J. Blige. She has a song called Whole Damn Year, and she says, "Look good on the surface, but I'm a mess. I'm a mess underneath." So many of us go through things during our childhood experiences, and we do a great job of covering it up. We do a great job of making it look good, but then we could become a different character underneath. And I don't know who I'm speaking to. I'm only speaking from experiences, but I did a lot of covering up back in the day and making it look amazing on the outside. And once you started to peel back that onion, the real truth came out, the naked truth. And yeah, it was nothing to reckon with. So if you want to find out how we helped out Mr. Anthony, go ahead and check out that replay. Replays are available on YouTube. They're also available on most of the social media platforms. I do apologize for the people who are out there on X, but you can get the replays on Facebook. We are available on Daily Motion. I want to say thank you so much to everyone out there on Daily Motion who have been supporting. It has been amazing, an amazing ride, an amazing journey. And I want to say thank you as well. That's been a long time coming. So thank you to the Daily Motion family and D Live, Twitch. The audio version is available where you listen to your daily podcast. For example, we're on iHeartRadio. We're on Amazon. We're on Pocket Cast. We're on Audacity, Deezer, just to name a few. So go ahead and support that, please. And yeah, smash that like button and let's get into it. I said this was going to be powerful. Y'all ready? Song of the day, Halfcrazy by Musiq Soulchild, released in 2002 off of his album Juslisen. Before I even get into this, I just want to say how amazing Musiq is. I witnessed him live in concert, Upper Darby, PA, and it was during his first album. And the song Love, I spoke about that a couple nights ago, Love. Boy, did he have that place rocking. Did he have that place jumping. And to come out with a second album and the hit single off of it, lead single off of it is Halfcrazy. And to this day, this record still touches a special place because there was a time that I was just like this record. And we're going to get into this tonight. I said this was going to be a powerful episode. Halfcrazy. It starts off and my mind's going half crazy because I can't leave you alone. And he says time and time again, I can't get you out of my system. That's a powerful statement when there's something, someone that you can't get out of your system. You just keep going over and over and over in your mind, thinking about them, wanting to be with them, wanting to have it, gotta have it. And I'm wondering if it's worth holding on. Can't get you out of my system. And one of my most favorite parts of the record is when he says, you used to laugh, now you get mad. Damn, I just want my friend back. You crossed the line. You put yourself out there. You did a little bit too much. You did not add up the cost. You didn't figure out where you would end up at. You didn't figure out what would happen if it went left or went right or we just stayed right in the middle. You just jumped in and you went in head first. You didn't have your gear on. You didn't protect yourself. And now you're sitting there questioning, damn, you used to laugh. Now you get mad. I just want things to go back to the way it was before. I just want my friend back. So, what is it that you are struggling with internally about your past that has your mind going half crazy? What is it that you just can't leave alone? Whether it's mentally, that's one thing. Mind going half crazy, can't get you out of my system, so you're dealing with it mentally. Physically, how many of us have been in some situations where we just can't stop? We just keep going back. We know that it's not good for us, but we just keep going back. Now we all emotionally messed up and we a little bit disturbed and our internal dialogue is going half crazy. Thinking about an ex-lover, a past employer, old friends, family, flings and things that no longer serve you. Alcohol, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Whatever has your mind half crazy that you just can't get it out of your system. Is it worth you holding on to whatever that thing is that has you mentally shook? Everything starts with self. No one can answer this burning question but you. You can't see where you are going if you are too busy looking behind you. If you're driving a car, it's not going to work well if you're constantly looking in your rearview mirror or you're turned backwards, looking out the back window. And if you spend too much time planning and prepping, thinking about the future, thinking about this thing that has your mind half crazy, what if, how's it going to be in the future if, you miss the present moment when you focus too much on what if and how and what is it going to look like. Do I really have it? Is it mine? Now, on the flip side, if you stay in the past, you're going to have depression and you're going to become depressed. Too much in the future, you're going to have stress. I'm going to say that again. Whatever this thing is that got your mind half crazy and you can't just get it out of your system, you start rehashing the past because that's that thing you can't get out of your system. It might be over, it might be done, it might just be what it is. But you're so busy focused on the past, it's keeping you in depression. But then on the other side, if you focus on trying to plan things out properly, I used to be that way. I don't know who I'm speaking to. I'm only speaking from experiences. Just basically trying to step in and be God. I want it to be this way. It has to be this way. It has to be perfect. Too much in the past is going to bring on depression. Too much focusing on the future is going to bring stress. I no longer relinquish my power to staying stuck playing the same sad songs on repeat. I love some of these songs, because I know where I come from, but I really can't do them today. I can't do them for too long. This song came to mind today. Jeezy featuring Neo, Leave You Alone. I'm not going to say I can't leave you alone. I just can't leave you alone. When it's time to leave you alone, that's exactly what that means. It's time to go. Okay, you might have had my mind half crazy a little bit before, but I'm not going to stay stuck like that. And if I got to leave you alone, that's exactly what that means. I love this record here, Can't Leave Him Alone, Sierra featuring 50 Cent. Ain't nobody going to have my mind like that today. Does somebody have you stuck like that today? Does somebody have you shook like that today? Are you going half crazy over somebody today? Are you sitting there repeating the same sad song over and over and over again saying, damn, I just want my friend back and I can't get you out of my system? When it's over, it's over. And when I want to leave today, That is exactly what that means. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know who I'm speaking to. Have you ever been in a situation where you wanted to walk out and you wanted to leave, but you couldn't? Your mind might have been going half crazy, but you also might have been wrapped up in some legal documents. You might have also been wrapped up and trapped up in some lease agreements. You might have signed your name on a dotted line with somebody who was unworthy, and now when you want to go ahead and get your power back, the powers that be tell you, mm-mm, it don't work like that. You don't get to leave until we say you get to leave. So you know what I say today? I'm not selling my soul today. Fool me once, fool me twice, and I ask myself today, self, now what do you think will happen should you decide to do it the third time? Should you decide to play Russian roulette with your life? And oh, and did I say your finances as well? Nah, I'm good today. I love myself today, and I might love you too, but I choose me today. Song of the day, Halfcrazy, Musiq Soulchild, off of his album, Juslisen. Now let's get into this wine here. I said we got a great surprise here. Down the Shore Wine Swept White. It's a white wine from New Jersey. It's 12.8 alcohol volume. And it says Loretta Winery, produced and bottled by Loretta Winery, New Egypt, New Jersey. Anybody would like this phone number, it's 1-800 Loretta. That's Laurita. They do ship, and they have a great selection of wine. 1-800 Loretta. And their website is lorettawinery.com. No matter where the sand shifts between your toes, going down the shore with a bottle of Loretta wine promises to make your beach day feel like paradise. Flip flop yourself onto a blanket, let the sun warm you, and the surf soothe you. A relaxing day seaside with Loretta. It's a sure thing. All right, down the shore. Let's go ahead and get my glass here. Wine smells amazing. One thing about this is that, and again, this is bottled and produced in New Egypt, New Jersey. This is a white blend, but they're very secretive as far as the grapes that they use. So I can't tell you exactly which grapes they use because it's kind of a secret. The average price of this bottle is $23, and the alcohol content is 12.8%. The appearance is going to be bright, pale, pale color. It's going to appear fresh, and it has the setting for crisp summer white. The aromas are delicate, and you're going to get aromas of green pear, fresh strawberry, lemon. Taste testers say it has a crisp and clean. Again, I see notes of pear, strawberry. The acidity is balanced, creating a ripe, enjoyable finish that feels lively. This pairs well with shellfish such as shrimp and oysters, lean fish such as salmon and tuna, light appetizers, salads, root vegetables such as squash. One of the fun facts is that Down the Shore from Loretta Winery reflects its proximity to coastal breezes, capturing a fresh, seaside inspired style. The winery emphasizes sustainability and old world traditions, a nod to natural expressions in their estate grown wines. Another fun fact is that I lived maybe 10 minutes away from this winery, and I lived in the area for about close to 20 years, and I had no idea it was that close to me. I visited the winery after I moved out of the area. Had no idea it was that close to me. I heard of it, but every time I went to go search for the winery, I couldn't really find it, and it was in my home backyard the whole time. This receives 4 out of 5 stars. Reviews are bright, fresh, and flavorful, a well balanced white blend that's both refreshing and food friendly, not overly complex, but highly enjoyable. Another review says light, bold, dry, soft, acidic profile, and nothing is as excellent as matching it with seafood and light snacks. Another review says down to the shore, windswept white is lively, fruity white blend that brings coastal freshness to your glass. With aromas of pear, strawberry, and lemon, it's crisp and bright on a palate, pairing beautifully with seafood salads and light summer dishes. Larita Winery focuses on sustainable, estate grown practices that shine through in this approach, yet elegant expression of a New Jersey white wine. Cheers, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Reading Between the Wines. And I'm going to go ahead and sample this and bring in my special guest and let you know how I feel about this wine. Cheers. This is great. Great wine. And I want to say that it reminds me of that Niagara grape. Again, a little bit of the Niagara grape. I've experienced this with Valzano Winery. I have a feeling that this here, of course, New Egypt, Laredo Rewinery, they have a great version of it as well. On my way to Laredo Winery, I passed Cream Ridge Winery, which I had no idea that was that close as well. And Cream Ridge Winery has a great wine as well called Almond Berry, which I'm going to bring once the fall comes in because that's just going to go so smooth. And if you have never tasted the Niagara grape, you really have to try it. It's an amazing experience. So I give it a I give it a 5 actually. This was one of my favorites. I did taste 6 different wines at this winery and I really couldn't put my finger on which one I wanted. And by the time it was time to pick out a wine, I couldn't remember what they taste like, so I picked this one. So in any case, we're here. What's going on, Birdman?
Hey,
How are
how's it
you?
going?
It's going good. It's going good.
Yeah, man. You almost make me want to go get a bottle of wine now.
I have to say that after doing this, I was always a little cautious about doing wine reviews because it's a lot to do wines and know the ins and outs of it. But I appreciate that. That must mean that I'm studying up a little bit and getting a
Yeah,
little bit better.
everybody can improve.
Les Brown says um, you can't see the picture when you're in the
That's
frame.
true.
So sometimes you never know. But that's good. I appreciate that. So, what's going on in your neck of the woods out there? I know last week we dealt with some crazy weather in both of our areas, I believe.
Oh, nothing much, man. I mean, it's been hot. I've been working on some videos that I took from our performance Saturday night at the wine um, cellar in Sugarland, Texas, and I've been writing, back to writing, and that's about it, man. Just stay, hey, man. It's been like 99 down here, so I'm not trying to get outside too much.
See, I like that. I see you get outside early in the morning and then you go into
Yeah, and
retreat.
then the day me and I've been telling you, me and this one lady, we've been working on a song, and so she sent me a new one to work on, and I got on my bass this morning, and I kind of played around with that. And then I did my little exercise, my little walking gym that I have now, and
Mm.
I read a little bit, and then I listened to music. Then I wrote and talked to a good friend, another poetry friend up in Austin. Him and I, we talked for a while, and other than that, it's been a real productive day.
That's what's up. I like you said you did a couple things that I like to do. I can walk until the sun comes up. I
Yeah,
love to walk. I used to run a lot, but I have what do they? I have I can't even get the words together, and I haven't really had that much wine, but I have resulted. I think that that's a good word. Back down to walking instead of running so much. And you said listening to music. I came across a gem that I had came across during the pandemic, and I found it again. It came across my playlist. I said, "Oh shoot, I remember this." Lionel Richie, "Love Will Find a
yeah.
Way."
We seen
I
him
love.
last year in Vegas.
Oh, that's good. He's still
Yeah,
performing. He looks good. I know Smokey is still
we were
performing.
supposed to go see Smokey this year, but with all the planes, the way they was acting, we canceled that.
I think Smokey needs to take a break from what I saw, but he's
Yeah,
still doing it.
yeah. But only thing about
He's still
Lionel, which
doing
I
it.
think he did on purpose, he showed up like 45 minutes late, but then the song he broke out with, it kind of covered that 40, he covered that. He said, "Hello, it's me," and everybody stood up and clapped because they were like getting kind of restless. And,
Mm-mm.
he came out
Yeah,
with "Hello," and man, the crowd just busted out.
yeah, that's a whole nother story when you keep the fans
Yeah.
waiting. I know Lauren Hill. He's been notorious for showing up late and then sometimes having an attitude and telling people, "You lucky that
Yeah.
I came out here." And I'm thinking to myself, "You lucky that we sat there and
Yeah.
paid to see
Well,
this."
you know what?
But
That happened
anyway,
at the what's that festival in New Orleans they have every year? And that festival, man, they've been
hmm
blasting that. I can't think of the name of it, but they've been blasting that, man, really, really bad. And they said Lauren Hill was there, and I think they said when she came out, it was like 3 a.m., man.
mm-mm. That you talk about the
Yes,
Essence
yes.
Festival.
I was trying to get in that to do some poetry, but it's so hard. You have to you have to know somebody. And I knew this one guy who he got in. He the one told me. He said, "You don't know nobody down there." And I'm like, "Okay, that's cool. That's a good one." I said I've been turned down many times because I didn't know the right person. So it's
Mm.
all right.
Now, speaking of your poetry and speaking of knowing people and speaking of the Hollywood circle, we had a conversation this past Sunday. How mystical is it that we were speaking about Malcolm
Oh
Jamal
man,
Warner?
yeah, I know it. I spoke to one of his really closest friends on Facebook Monday, and man, the dude said he's been
Uh
in
huh.
tears. And I told him the other two, the guy that be on Progressive, the black gentleman that be on Progressive. Well, see, I
Yeah.
I know him too, and him and Malcolm Jamal, they did a lot of events together because he does poetry. His poetry just as good as Malcolm Jamal. And the DJ that hangs out with him, he's actually from Houston. And we after we talked so long, we found we didn't know each other. He used to come to the park when we used to be playing ball, and he's younger. He used to watch us play, and then when I told him who I used to hang out with from the park, he said, "I know who you are now." He said, "Back then you was real skinny. You wore your socks like Robert Reed, and you had long hair." I'm like, "Yeah." I said that was me, and both of them, they have not been on social media, and I understand why. I really do, cause them brothers, they hung out together. And like I
Mm,
said, the one, his name is Poetry Smith, which I guess I can say his name. He said he had been crying, and he said he gonna be shedding tears for a long time. Cause like I said, they all was tight. Their families. That's why I'm saying. That's why I know these three guys. Their families hung out.
mm.
So
I was like, I don't believe we was just speaking about him on Sunday. I was like, I'm gonna text him. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna text him. I'm like, I'll talk to him on Wednesday about it.
yeah,
But that's crazy.
and like I said, I got a chance to meet him. It's called the Lounge in L.A. If anybody from L.A. that's on here, they know where the lounge. It's called the Lounge. That's what it's called. And I
Mm,
met him there, and hey, man, the brother was humble, man. And kind of hate to see that happen. I mean, but like somebody told me, they said that's gonna happen to everybody. I mean, yeah, but when it happens to a good guy like that, it's kind of a shock.
yeah. Mm. Yes, sir. I know exactly what you mean.
And that was doing well when we met him. That was really like doing the time when Cosby was in, and they let him come out, but they didn't let him like just really mingle with the crowd because they didn't want nobody to ask him how he felt about that. But
Oh
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
what they
yeah.
did was all the people that birthdays was in March. They had us to come up on stage, and since my birthday in March, I went up there and we kind of like got a chance to chat a little bit, not much, just enough to say, hey man, we like your work, blah blah blah, and that was it. He did his thing, and then they got him up out of there because
Mm,
like I said, they were trying to find out what he knew, and like I said, the way Poetry Smith had it set up, he had security there, and they brought him on in because he stayed at the back most of the time, and then they brought him on up to the front, and like I said, they wouldn't let people just you know mingle with him.
mm. Well, he definitely was in our households if we watched the Cosby Show. Who didn't
I
watch the
know
Cosby Show?
Malcolm in the
And
Middle.
all of the
Those
yeah,
two
who
right
didn't?
there.
You know, yeah. So, um, rest in peace. And of course, that was just it's never easy when we hear
Right.
stuff like this, and when it feels like it's family members. Like I can remember, Whitney, Michael. Like you just feel a certain way when certain stars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. In any case, we are going to bring this thing back up again. We are in our Money Hacks book still. This has been a great addition to our show, and we're going to continue to keep busting through this. We learn something new every single week. At least I learn something new every day, but I want to make sure we continue to learn something new here on Reading Between the Wines. So we have over 275 money hacks. So can you just give me a number? We'll do it differently. Give me a number anywhere between 1 to 275.
100.
100. Let's see what hack 100 is. Let's see what we got here. Hack 100 is going into chapter 3, which is get debt free. That's right up my alley. Um, we did that. We've done that one before. We did that one last week.
One.
Let's
We
pick
did
another number.
100.
Yeah, we did check your free credit report last
Okay.
week. How mystical is that? We went right back to
Okay.
the same one.
I do 80.
Okay, 80. Let's see what we got 80 here. Money hack 80 is score double savings on groceries. What's the best day of the week to go shopping for groceries? That depends on when your new sales circular goes into effect. Some stores make their sales even better by combining 2 weeks worth of sales into one. Say the sale week starts on Wednesday. Every Wednesday, the store will honor sale prices on items from last week's sale and the coming week's sale. You might need to store your excuse me. You might need your store's loyalty card, but there are no coupons to take advantage of doubling the number of items on sale. All you have to do is pick the right day to shop and brace yourself for the crowds if everyone else is already in on a secret. Not every chain does this, so you'll want to check the policies for the stores in your area. Score double savings on groceries. Now, again, how mystical is it again? Because we were speaking about spending money on a bunch of food this past weekend. And me personally, I have been focusing on monitoring my food bill because that's probably next to your rent and your car insurance and all of those things. The amount of money that we spend on food is probably up there. That's going to be in your top three. So I have been focusing on it, especially if you surround yourself by people who have some bad habits when it comes to spending money on food, impulse buys, and things of that nature. So, what do you think of that money hack?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I say people out there focus on meal prepping, focus on planning out your meals for the week. Go to the store with a list and stick to that list. Try not to go into the stores just moseying around, wandering around, because you're probably going to pick up things and put extra things in your basket that you probably didn't set out to get in the first place. And my mother always used to say, don't go to the store when you're hungry.
I've heard that too, but what because you know what when the pandemic started, we had that curbside service at the grocery
Mhm.
store that we do. And this grocery store is a Texas based store, so that's what we still do. She makes out the list. She'll say, "Hey, is it something special you want?" And normally it's the same thing that we get. So she make out the list.
Mhm.
We just go there, click on our phones. Hey, they bring it out to us. We come home, and sometimes they don't have the name brand. But they say we put an off brand in it. Hey, that's just as good because hey, even if I had went inside the store and the name brand wasn't there, I would still have to either decide to get the off brand or not get nothing at all.
That is a good money hack that you just said. If you sit down at home, put the list together, do the curbside, you don't have to step in the store and be tempted by anything extra.
Yeah.
That is a good money hack right there. Get everything online because you're focused at home. You know exactly what your budget is. You know exactly what you want to spend, and you don't even have to step foot in there and be tempted by all of the impulse things that they have. And the grocery store will purposely make you walk all the way to the back of the store for staple stuff as such as eggs and milk and all of those things because they want you to go past all of the extra stuff and be tempted to pick up some extra. I like
Yeah,
that.
and that's like
I like
my sister and I was talking about that, and she was like, "Well, I don't do that because they may put something in there. I want the name brand." And I said, "Well, it's like this. Even if you stepped in the store and the name brand ain't there, it's you still ain't gonna get it. So what difference does it make?" Well, I want to see what they put. I'm like, okay, never mind. You know what? I said, this is the way we've been doing this ever since the pandemic, and we haven't stopped. And then
and you know
people are
what?
so disrespectful in the stores too.
That
They
part
is
right
so
there.
I'm especially down out, I don't know how it is up there, but man, I mean I've been in the stores and their kids are laying all on the floor and the parents see you trying to get by, they don't say nothing. Or I've had people just leave their baskets in the middle of the store. I mean in the middle of the aisle. So hey man, this is a better way. It's no headache and no fuss.
Not even the people in the store being disrespectful, the workers that work there.
Yes.
It's like once the pandemic happened, customers are always right. Customer service went way out the window, and it's like, nah, you gonna listen to what we say, or you can get out and you ain't gonna get
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, all right, I like that. I like that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready to go to ATL. We're gonna help Mr. Derek out. He's 45 years old, works as a warehouse operations manager. He finalized his divorce 6 months ago, and after 12 years of marriage, no kids between us, but plenty of shared debt and emotional wreckage. My ex wife left, packed up her things, and moved on fast. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here still paying off the joint credit cards, the lease car she drove, and the apartment we broke the lease on. It's not even about the money. It's about feeling like I'm paying the price for both of us while she gets to start over clean. I'm trying to date again, but honestly, I don't even trust myself to choose right. I keep wondering, was I blind or did I just ignore what was obvious because I didn't want to start over? I'm working on forgiving her, but I'm really struggling to forgive myself. My question is, how does a man heal emotionally and financially after a divorce
Mhm.
when the world expects us to just move on like it didn't break us? This is Derek in Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to take it to the top. Derek, I work as a warehouse operations manager. I finalized my divorce 6 months ago after 12 years of marriage. No kids between us, but plenty of shared debt and emotional wreckage. My ex wife left, packed up her things, and moved on fast. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here paying off the joint credit cards, the lease car she drove, and the apartment we broke the lease on. It's not even about the money, it's about feeling like I'm paying the price for both of us while she gets to start over clean. I'm trying to date again, but honestly, I don't even trust myself to choose right. I keep wondering, was I blind or did I just ignore what was obvious because I didn't want to start over? I'm working on forgiving her, but I really struggle to forgive myself. My question is, how does a man heal emotionally and financially after a divorce when the world expects us to just move on like it didn't break us? What are your thoughts on this?
Man, I read this and I'm like, come on, dude. I mean, we all go through this. I don't care if it was 12 weeks, 12 months, 12 years. He just got to move on. I mean, come on, he had to grow up because he gonna have to pay bills regardless. And you know, I always said that after the 10th year, he should have seen the signs that things was getting shaky. And
Mm-mm.
I don't know how long that car lease was, but you know what? After the 10th year, I wouldn't have put my name on no car lease. And as far as the credit cards, I would have stopped. I would have chilled on spent using credit card. He was not paying attention. He didn't see the signs. A lot of us get caught like that, where we didn't see the sign, but they was there. Hey man, this
Mm.
happened to me, but the fact that we didn't have no car notes, I wouldn't even get a credit card with her. Cause once before I had one, it got messed up. And I always said, as long as I was with her, I wasn't gonna put myself in financial bind. So if she left out, I'd be stuck. And
Mm.
as far as breaking the lease on a, hey man, what he should do is go back to the place.
I know that's right.
I mean, okay, if you broke a lease, go back to the apartment complex. Since you got to pay for it anyway, you might as well just, hey, can I move
Mm.
back in because I got to pay for it anyway. 'Cause I'm
Mm.
gonna tell you, when my situation, when it only good thing about when my situation happened, I had got a car and I paid cash for it. I went to the dealership and I paid cash for it. I put in my mother's name though. And then the apartment we were staying in, when I left, I called the apartment complex, told them what the deal was. And they said, well, you still responsible for it. She stayed to the end. But what she did was she put holes all in the walls to try to have
Uh,
them to come after me. And I told him, I said, I wouldn't even live in there. And my dad, he had talked to him. He said, and I brought a lease from another apartment complex where I had moved into, and so they put all the bills on her and her boyfriend. They did make threats at me, but like I told them, they came
mm,
around. I said, hey, I already know how you feel, and even though we had kids, I just told them, long they don't make no freaky move towards me, we cool. But if you make a move and I think it's threatening, I said, hey, trust me. And every time I went outside to the car to get there, I took a baseball bat with me
wow.
because I didn't know. Because when I first had it, I had an issue with him. And the dude was, hey man, when I first the first issue I had, the dude was like, he's like 6'8", man. And I was like, oh damn. I said, this dude is big. So I grabbed my son's baseball bat and I said, hey man, if you come towards me, I'm breaking you down, man. And they called the police on me. I told the police what was up, and the police told him, say you was wrong for getting out your car. So
Yeah, I gotta back this up.
yeah,
He
so
said,
hey man,
he said, he said, I'm breaking you down.
yeah, yeah. But now I had to pay child support. And you know what? I,
I
I,
know.
I said I'd rather pay child support, pay my own rent, pay my car note, because I had to get another one because mine got totaled out in an accident, than to live with her. And I just
Mm,
looked at this guy. I said, man, you 45 years old. She could have passed away and you still would have had these bills.
yep.
So what's
Hmm.
the difference which way she left or y'all split up? Because somebody gonna have to pay for them. Or if you want your credit to be bad, just don't pay nothing at all and just move on about your business.
Wow, you done opened up so many doors here. Let's start with what you gonna have to pay anyway. Ain't nothing in life. Ain't nothing in life free. You gonna have to pay one way. You gonna pay spiritually. You gonna pay mentally. You might pay physically with your body worn down, and you might even have to pay financially. But ain't nothing in life free. So if anybody think that they gonna get away with something for free, think again.
Exactly.
And I don't know. I don't know what's worse. I don't want to find out what's worse because you can say, "Oh yeah, financially, you just got to pay." You could say physically, you got to, labor, hard labor, and work multiple jobs to get this thing down. You might have to pay financially, and your body gonna go down physically. Uh, Mentally, could be the most difficult thing. Between spiritual, most difficult thing because guess what? You can't turn that thing off. You can clock out and go home. You can rest your body, but when your mind is going half crazy, constantly replaying the same thing over and over and over again, and dealing with the poor decisions that you made, mm-mm, ain't nothing in life free. So the people who think that they getting over on people, they doing them doing them dirty, trying to get over on somebody, thinking that they got somebody, trust and believe you gonna pay one way or the
Yeah,
other.
because I'm quite sure he's saying she moved on, but you know, is she doing better since she moved on or what? Because just because
Well,
she left him, that don't mean that she's doing any better.
Okay, you just opened up another door. I told you it was going to be a powerful thing today. Is the grass always greener on the other side? Because when you see something that you think you want to go jump towards, you might be in a situation, you might be in a marriage, you might be in a whatever. Even when let's talk about the jobs that we get. Sometimes somebody says, "Oh yeah, come down here and work over here. I get paid X, Y, and Z." You only getting paid that. You might have a good consistent thing going on, but because you want to do what somebody else does, and you jump ship and you move over to go to the next thing, and then when you get there, you realize that the grass is not always greener on the other side.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she might have jumped ship. She might have did whatever she had to do, and then realized that once she got here, oh dang,
Yeah.
homeboy was hooking me up. He was looking out. We had a good situation going together. Now what do I do? A lot of times when people are cheating and creeping and they think that the grass is greener on the other side, once they get there, it's kind of too late and they realize, damn, like that song by Joni Mitchell, you don't know what you got till it's
Yeah.
gone. Mm.
And like I said, I mean, I'm looking at it like this. Hey, man, she probably did you a favor and you don't even know
Can you see? You opened up another box.
it.
Sometimes when God shows up, however he shows up and whatever he does, sometimes we just got to be okay with that. And when you look back years later, you be like, man, God works in mysterious ways. You good looking out. You did it. You did me some favors.
Yeah. But
I don't know. I don't know who I'm speaking to. I'm only speaking from experiences. Man, you did me some
yeah,
favors. Wow.
you know what? Even though I had to pay child support and I had to pay my own rent, and like I said, I had to get another vehicle because the one I had was in a wreck, and so I had to get another one. I was more happier then afterwards, because I'm like, wow, man, I can come home in peace. I can come home and I can turn on the music and listen to my music in peace. I can watch what I want on my TV in peace.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna have to interrupt you right here. I I want you to stop opening up these doors.
Okay.
Opening up these doors, opening up these windows. When you get to come home and do the things that you want to do, want to listen to, eat what you want to eat, go where you want to go, put stuff down, and when you come back, it's right in the same spot that you left it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, go ahead. What else were you saying? I was in a little, I was in a little zone for a minute. I'm sorry.
That's good. That's what make us talk so much.
Mhm.
But I just said, he's gonna have to. I mean, he's saying, how can he pull himself together? Well, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, if we was sitting, I don't know what I would tell him. I would just say, and you're a grown man. I wouldn't say it that nicely, but I say you're a grown man. And look,
Right.
man,
Well,
things
well,
happen, and you gotta quit thinking about. He said it's not a financial thing. So if it's not a financial thing, he shouldn't be under no pressure at all.
it's a financial thing because he wouldn't have wrote in if it wasn't financial, and you
Right.
wouldn't be talking about the money if it wasn't financial.
And see, he wants to date, but he wants to date on his terms, like big time. Hey, sometimes, man, now I will always say this. You said what it was finalized 2 years ago. So therefore, y'all ain't been together for 2 years, dude. If you still, dwelling on that, you ain't gonna never get over it.
Mm.
Because I mean, he said his marriage was finalized at 2 years later, dude. And I could tell him how quickly mine was, and like I said, mine is from just voice of experience. But hey, like I said, long he keeps dwelling on it, he gonna always be like you said. It's gonna take a mental. It's gonna take a physical. it's going to take a physical effect on him. And then
Mm,
that's the worst thing it can be, because the physical, if it take a physical effect, then the financial effect gonna kick in too,
mm.
because he won't be able to go and do that job that he's supposed to do.
Whew. Wow, this is all right. I'm gonna take it to the top. All right. Mr. Derek seems to have a decent job. A warehouse operations manager finalized his divorce 6 months ago.
Okay, sorry, 6 months.
6 months ago, after being married for 12 years, you said something that he didn't see the sign. Y'all remember that song by Ace of Base, I Saw the Sign?
Yeah,
He didn't see the sign. And you said something about 10 years. I want to talk to people about 10 years. 10 years is very powerful. There's a lot of things you can be relieved of, a lot of things. It seems like every 10 years your life shifts. So be careful with that 10 years. And if you're married to somebody 10 years in certain states, it's a wrap. Now,
yeah,
he got away with whatever he got away with. He should be lucky that that's what he got away with, because in certain states, in certain circumstances, once you get that 10 years, it's something. And or like where you're from, Texas, hell, you can be with somebody for 10 minutes and it's a problem. You got to be
yeah,
careful.
yeah.
Texas.
And plus they didn't have no kids, so that right there is really, he should be blessed that they didn't have no kids.
I was just about to say that is a blessing, because some people have to pay child support, some people have to pay alimony. You were married for 12 years. I don't see anything about alimony, because based off of this, you could have been caught up. So consider that.
Okay, some states they have, like Texas have spousal.
That's, yeah, alimony.
No, it's different. Well, okay, they call it spousal cause support, because it's different. It's supposed to be different from alimony, but hell, to me, it's both. They both the same.
hmm Alimony, spousal support,
Yeah,
support,
and child
support.
support, all that. And he lucky he didn't get the child support alone. He lucky he didn't get that,
hmm hmm
because then he really would have, then he can say, then he would have to cut back on something. That's all they do. He would have to cut back on either where he live at, how he hang out, or like, it's just something that he gonna have to cut back on. Because I mean, hey, whenever a person, especially a man, go through a divorce, and he has to pay child support, then he has to sit down and he got to think about, what do I need to cut back on so I can maintain at least some of the things that I do. He ain't gonna be able to do it all, because I mean, if he want to keep his ride, or he want to break it down, because you know how most guys is, man. They want to go, they want a nice ride all the time. And sometimes, man, you got to let that new vehicle go for a used vehicle until you can get back on your feet. That's why I'm.
That is that is very powerful that you said that. The first step you said is he's going to need to sit back and evaluate. And I love the words that you said, cut back on stuff. And the first thing that you listed was his living arrangements. So everybody who's listening can, learn from that. If you are experiencing any type of financial setback, any type of issue, sitting back and evaluating, getting into a good budget to figure out what you can cut back is key. And your top three expenses, number one, is going to be your living arrangement. So if you live high and over and beyond, that might mean you might need to scale back and try something a little bit different temporarily until you can get back to where you need to get
Yeah,
to.
because that's like
This,
me. I went and stayed with my parents for a month, and then I went and I told them, I said, I'm not gonna be here forever. I said, hey, I said I'm trying to get up out of here and get my own place because, and my dad was like, oh, well, you can stay as long as you want. I'm like, yeah. I said, but you know what? Since I got to pay rent here too, I might well find my own spot where I can pay rent and I don't have to be around you and mama. Not that I didn't like it, but I didn't want to be around them 24/7 either. So I went and I found my own place because I wanted to be responsible. And,
absolutely.
and and like for him, at 45, come on, man, he doesn't sound like he's a responsible person. First of all,
Mm,
because like I said, I go back to he said it's not about the money. It is about the money because if it wasn't, you wouldn't have brought it up.
yeah, because he says no kids between us, which is good, but plenty of shared
Yeah.
debt and emotional
And that's
wreckage.
in any divorce. There's gonna be finance. It's gonna be something there. So that that
And
I know of, and I know because a lot of people I know that got divorced. They had to pay for something. If it wasn't child support, they had to pay the credit cards, and that's one of the biggest people don't realize, man. It's the credit cards, and what the best thing he can do is freeze out the credit card immediately.
I like that you when we spoke. Let's speak about credit cards because he has joint credit cards, and you said he didn't see the sign like Ace of the Base. I saw the
Yeah,
sign. When you start to see that that credit card bill keeps creeping up, creeping up, creeping up, and you're making a minimum payment and it's not really going down, that's the sign right there that there's something that's happening, and you need to do something about it because more is going out than more is coming in. So those are the signs right there that people typically ignore. And you said something, freeze your credit card, you can freeze
yeah,
it. If you have a spouse, if you have a significant other that's not responsible, I love you, but I also love me too. And there's a thin line between love and hate. You can love me today and hate me tomorrow, and then who's stuck with all of this?
exactly.
So hit that little freeze button. And I know I did that in the past. Oh, you didn't come up with your half of this credit card bill, and you think that I'm going to sit here and pay this all? Just a click of a button now don't work no more. Why didn't the credit card work? I have no idea. Something wrong with it? Something wrong with it? Oh, mine worked fine today. Maybe you should try it
Because
again.
I guarantee you,
Yeah.
she gonna use that credit card until, and
hmm
that's why I said, hey man, when you know it's over with, man, hey, freeze it out.
She left and packed her things and moved on
Yeah,
fast. Meanwhile, he's still sitting there paying off credit card, the leased car that she drove. So he don't even have the car. She got it. And you said something about cars. There's plenty of times where I have downgraded and got a used car. I had a new car, but there's something that's called a repossession. But my mentor said it best like this: there's something called a me possession. No, you don't got to repossess anything. I'm telling you to come get
yeah,
it. Come get that thing. And I have done that. I did that 2 times in my life. And you can come get this until I got back on my feet till I could purchase a newer vehicle again. But in the meantime, yeah, you can come
yeah.
get this.
And and
So,
there's nothing
but
wrong with if you find you a good used vehicle, and you can find one at the dealership because the dealership they have a certain spot where they put used cars that their mechanics they look at and before they put it on the road. Well, I know they do down here, and they're
hmm
mostly and they're not old trashy cars. They're really nice vehicles.
right,
And
right.
he could easily say okay, because the way he talk, I'm like, sure, you okay, your position, how old you probably riding around in a Beamer, or a Jag, something like that. Hey, Brian, you had to go back to either a Ford or a GMC.
Listen, my favorite American car is a Chevy. Ain't nothing wrong with
Oh,
it.
yeah, I know.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Maybe she murked off with the car because he might be upset that he's paying for the lease and she's still riding around on it. It could be. I don't
That's
know.
possible.
But and then the apartment. You said this. Okay. Why did he say we broke the lease? If she left, let her leave. What did you leave for?
Yeah,
That don't make no sense. Go back, like you said. You shouldn't have broke that lease. She might have broke it, but that didn't mean you had to break it.
exactly. That's why when I seen that, I'm like, we left. We paying on an apartment, that we don't live in. Or you know what could have happened? They could have said, "Hey," she said, could have said, and I know this has happened before. Is, "Oh, I want to get up out of here," or he was trying to impress her. He didn't see that she wanted to leave him, so he tried to upgrade. Well, I'll break this lease, and we can go and live over here. That which is kind of
Mm-hmm.
is to me is crazy, but
You
I've
fool.
known people who've done it, that they broke these just
Foolishness.
to go and upgrade, just to please the person they would, and then
That's just like,
she still leave.
yeah, that's like having a baby and somebody cheats on somebody and we want to repair the relationship or we want to repair the marriage and we think a baby's going to do
Yeah,
it. I've seen that before. And and then he says it's not about the money. Sure it is. This whole letter is about the money. And it's about feeling like I'm paying the price for both of us when she gets to start over clean. Be very careful, people, when you think that the other one got away with it. Because, like I said, the grass is not always greener on the other side. If you focus on you, if you get your ducks in order and you be the best person that you can be, the best version of yourself, you soon may start to wake up and realize that this might be a blessing in disguise. This might have been my exit strategy. Thank you, God, for showing me what I needed to see. And then they'll wake up and realize, wow, I might have made a mistake.
yeah,
But if you so focused on what the other person is feeling, what they're thinking, what are moving, staying connected with them on social media, keeping up with the friends that you were with, trying to still stay connected, you're doing yourself a disservice. I recommend breaking yourself away from all of that, deleting, blocking, removing. Sometimes you might even need to get up and move out of state, move out of town, get far away from the situation as best as you possibly can and move on with your life. Next thing you know, somebody will reach out to you and be like, did you know that X, Y, and Z is this and blah, 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 this and blah, 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 that? You will be shocked and amazed at the difference. I'm telling you.
exactly. So, like I said, it just seemed like he was an immature person anyway, and he's hurt. He's hurt because she walked out. She got the drops. I put it like this: she got the drops on him, and he's hurt. But she was showing, like I said, after the tenth year, she started showing it. He just didn't see it.
Mm. And then he's saying, I'm trying to date
Yeah.
again, but honestly, I don't even trust myself to choose right. Don't try to date again.
No.
In this state, if you're still worried about what's going on, you're still stuck in the past, you can't focus on the present moment. You can't date somebody in the present state that you are now because you're still focused on the past. You need to clean up some things from the past. And I know what it's like when you're trying to date. And I had to tell people when I was, fresh into the dating scene after a divorce, I cannot commit to spending this type of money because we're gonna need to go places, we're gonna need to do things. Right now I need to focus on cleaning up some things.
Exactly.
And even when I tried to do it, I was like, this ain't cool because this money that I'm spending on this date here, I could be paying to get this credit card bill down. I could be paying to get this repossession under control. I could be paying to do so many different things. And I had to shut all of that down and be like, nah, we not doing that. It is what it is. And I found myself chasing dates swiping left, swiping right, doing everything that was outside of my character. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then spending money and then being regretful the next day. Like, why did I go here? Why did I do this? I could have been asleep in my own bed. I didn't even need to be in this situation. I found myself doing that. But then after, fast forward, right where we here are today, like, I don't need to chase nothing. I don't need to chase none of that. I could go on a date if I want to. I could do certain things if I want to, and I could do it with ease, and I could, breathe and have fun. I don't need to be stressing about me robbing Peter to pay Paul and still trying to look good in the process.
Exactly, exactly. And that's basically
So
what I was saying. With everything that I was saying, it boils down to, she's gone and she ain't coming back, and you wouldn't unless you let her come back.
I was about to say she might come
Yeah,
back.
unless you let her come back, then that's on you again. But
Yeah,
I mean, the brother just like I said, he just need to say, okay, you're gone, you stay there, don't come back, and just get himself together. Focus on getting himself together. I mean, like I said, because he don't have no child support to pay. Child support. Hey man, that's until that child get 18. And they've been what he said married 12 years. So, like I said, if he didn't see it, and I'll break it down. I'm not gonna say after the 10th year. It should have been after the 11th year. He didn't see the changes that was going on. Because normally, when somebody's getting ready to break away, you can almost see it because you listen to the conversation and you listen to other things, and you'll get the hint that okay, something getting ready to happen.
every time God spoke to me in my dreams, and I remember specifically driving to work like something ain't right. Something ain't right. Like God will let me know when somebody doing me dirty.
Yeah,
He certainly will, and I can't put a like almost like a like you almost like just want to be sick to your stomach, but you don't know why. And
right.
sure enough, after time goes on, things start to reveal, and I'll be like, ah, that was you telling me that I needed to be on the lookout that something was about to go down. And I didn't know, but every single time, no joke, no cap, every single time.
Yeah,
Now he says he needs to work on forgiving her, but he's really struggling to forgive himself. Before you learn to forgive somebody else, learn to forgive yourself. And this dating and trying to get into the dating scene, you're putting a damper on the forgiveness process. Everything starts with self, so you need to get with self first. And you need to sit down, you need to ask yourself, what is it that I need to learn from this? What role did I play in this? How come I didn't see the signs? What were the signs? When did it happen? When did things start to turn south? What did I play in this so that when you do get into this dating thing again, when it does show up again, you'll be like, I remember. And we're not going to go down the same path. Because if you don't remember, trust and believe that the ex wife that you running from, she will resurface again in somebody else.
exactly. Exactly. Cause see, he's gonna go out and he's gonna, like you said, he's gonna rush. He's rushing when he should just be like you said, sitting back and say, "Hold up, time out. Let me pull myself together, get myself together, and then take care. Like take care of these bills." And then if he want to date again, because what I found out, man, if you just sit back and you wait, someone good will come to you.
Birdman, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, and I'm listening because God, God has been speaking to me and telling me, son, you just need to wait. But sometimes, you know, being a man,
Yeah,
sometimes I get in the way and I be like, nah, I got this. And
yeah,
then, but now, see, this is the difference. I get in the way and be like, I got this, I got this. And then I start the little chase thing. And then when I get it, I be like, nah, that ain't it. And then I'm like,
exactly.
All right, God. I know you said, no, no, you said you got me. Let me back up. Let me back up. I broke that off. I do apologize. I'm putting a disclaimer out there. I apologize. You're going to have to come to me this time. If I start chasing after you, that ain't it. That ain't it.
Right, right.
I chase after because that's what we do. We're hunters. So I chase after. And then when I get it, I'll be like, nah, that ain't it.
Yeah, and yo, hey, don't feel bad because, like I said, we all have done it before. And
I
then sometimes, like when it's too late, you sit back and say, "I should have seen this wasn't too late. This wasn't gonna work out. Why did I?" You know, and you right back in the same situation again that you was in. So
Yeah, and this is why I say wait. Like he needs to get with himself and wait. And it's not about bragging or anything. And one thing you don't want to do is play with anybody's emotions. But
yeah,
as I enter into the dating realm, I realize and I've seen so many signs because after you've gone through so much stuff, after you've hit rock bottom, you won't want to repeat it again. Like sometimes we got to get hurt up so bad to where we don't want to repeat it again. And when we start to see some familiarity, when we start to see similarities between our past experiences, if you've been hurt up enough, you're gonna hit them brakes and be like, nah, this ain't it.
right,
So
right,
right as he's jumping into it right away without healing, you're setting yourself up for failure because you haven't built up the mental fortitude to be able to distinguish what's right and what's wrong because you're distorted. You're chasing after something. You're lusting after something. You're getting wrapped up and you're getting caught up, and you're not thinking with the right head. So that could be what his problem is. And I spoke about this the other night. We always try to get under somebody to get over.
right.
Want to get over somebody by getting under somebody. You gotta back that thing up a little bit and chill. And when you do that, you'll be able to operate and maneuver a little bit better.
That is good. I mean, a lot, and this go for men and women. We don't do that. We don't sit back and say, hold up. I need to work on myself first. And then, you know, because there's going to be a time, like I said, when somebody's going to come to you least expected.
And now check this out. I'm glad you said that. Now, when they come to you, you have to be very careful because God may send people to test you.
Yes.
Could be a test, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know who I'm
Yes.
speaking to, but I'm speaking from. I don't know who I'm speaking to, but I'm speaking from experience. Sometimes these tests, and if they remind you of anything, any little thing, you better run.
Yeah.
You better run. I'll tell you that God has a sense of humor. I didn't know that God had a sense of humor. I didn't know that until recently. That everything that I disliked about one of my exes, it showed up again. And I'm like, damn, that's a sign. Damn, that's a sign. God is humorous in some ways. Pay attention. Pay attention to it. If you see now, if you don't take some time to sit back and evaluate your life, you won't realize how much of a sense of humor God has. And I laugh now, like that is so funny that you brought me somebody else that remind me so much of the stuff, but I see the signs now and I can back up and say, no, this is not it. And then walk away laughing and say, thank you, God, for showing me that. Thank you so much.
You know, yeah, yeah. Because I've had cousins and they say, I'm going to hand me somebody. They don't care.
I remember you said that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, and one of I was like, "Hey, dude, I thought you okay, never mind." And then he, oh man, and she just went. I'm like, yeah, okay, and I understood them. And it's for me. It's for a lot of reasons why a lot of guys, like they said, man, I'm not supposed to be alone. I ain't gonna say that, man. I said because sometimes you need to be alone to get control of what you're doing wrong.
mm. Say that again. I know that's true.
And one of my cousins, man, well, both the two cousins I'm speaking of, both of them have passed away, and I listened to them, and I listened to them, and I'm like, okay. And my cousin said, "Oh man, how you gonna live by yourself?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I said, "No one's coming to live with me." I said, "I'm gonna live by myself." I said, "Cause I need to get myself together." They're like, "What you mean by?" And they didn't know what I was talking about.
Hmm.
And I said, "Man, I'm trying." I said, "There's a few bills I'm trying to take care of, and then there's some things I need to work on myself personally. I need to find out what I did wrong."
And
And
that's
huh,
exactly why you're in the situation that you're in now, because you did the right thing. You did your work. Some people are not willing to put the work in, and then they repeat the same cycles over and over and over again.
exactly.
Different
And
fate, different face, same issues, and it might even be the same issues plus more on top of it because you were disobedient and you didn't, do your work. So now you're gonna deal with the same issues that you got. Plus, I'm gonna give you some more headache on top of it.
exactly. And like I said, man, after when I dealt, like I said, when I dealt with the child support stuff, I sat back and I was like, okay. And I added up what my bills were. And I said, this is no lie. This is what I said. I said, okay, I'm gonna either have to give up my vehicle or I'm gonna have to give up my apartment
Mm,
because situation. That's how it was. And I said, you know what? Call the people up. Hey man, y'all come get the car. And they got a city bus that go right by where I live at. I'm like, man, you know what? I rode the bus before. Hey, I can ride it again until. And I never forget my dad. He said, "Oh, so you rather pay them white folks the money than to keep your vehicle and come live with us?" And I said, "Yeah."
sometimes you gotta be on your own. It is what it is. I know what you mean.
And my mother, my mom,
Um,
she said, "You finally done grew up, huh?" just like that, just like that. I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "Look, I know I have issues, and I know this, and I just want to be to myself when I come home from work. I just want to be to myself,
I know
and,
that's
and,
right.
and
I
I
know
can
that's
sit
right.
back and I can think." And I said,
Hmm.
"Whatever." I said, "Somebody, it's gonna come to me. I'm not going to them no more." And
Yes.
she was like, "I understand." She said, "You know how your dad is." I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "You know what? I called them. They came and picked it up. Hey man, I didn't mind riding the bus. I rode the bus until I saved up my money, and I was able to get me another vehicle, and I was able to have my car note fit in to my income bracket then, because I had rent to pay for, and I was there by myself. So I had rent, child support, and car note then, and I was able to do it and still have few dollars left over to still enjoy my life if I wanted to.
Right. Right. Mm. All right. Well, Mr. Derek, I think we gave him enough. I think that spiritually, there's some issues when it comes to his spiritual realm. I think that he needs to get time with himself and build on the spirit man and focus on building that up. The mental aspect clearly is an issue because you're dealing with some past traumas from your relationship, whatever went wrong. Figure out what roles he played so you don't bring that stuff and that drama and that trauma into the next situation. Dating right now, I would say, is off the table. If I was him, I would not be dating anybody else. And again, I know easier said than done. I was super hard headed during a pandemic. The first thing that I was trying to do was run out to date this, and this, and everything became a complete disaster. And then finally, I was like, God, I guess you're trying to teach me something that this ain't working. Like this is not what it's supposed to be. And I'm not going to get into technical details, but when God says no, that's exactly what that
Right.
means. And I learned it that we couldn't do that. It just didn't work. And the financial aspect, even though it's like you're speaking out of both sides of your face. One minute you say that this isn't a financial thing, but then the writings are on the walls, the apartment that's broke, the lease that broke, the car lease, credit card debts. I don't even know how you can even come here and say that it's not a financial thing. Absolutely, it is a financial thing. And you were just all over the place that you don't even know what's going on. So hitting that pause button and sitting down is definitely a must. And that's just what I have to say. I'm gonna put it out there like that. We need to hit the reset button here. There's a lot going on here, and it does not look good if you decide to jump in and bring this baggage into a new situation.
And what I was gonna say is, for me, is like I said, I went to a Methodist college, and so I had kind of got away from that side. And my mom, she said, maybe you need to switch and come this way, And I knew what she meant.
Mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I did. I start reading the Bible, and I started reading it slowly and trying to get an understanding. And sometimes that's you have to do that. And if you got friends that's gonna laugh at you, they're not your friends.
I know that's right.
And that was me. I was like, my dad, he the first one that said that. He said, "Oh, if you got friends gonna laugh at you because you read the Bible, they ain't none of your friends. You don't need them." And I said, "You know what? Sure." But I didn't have any. Most of the guys I hung out with, they read the Bible. They went to church. Some did, some didn't, because you have a bad deal at one church, and you say, "Hey, it's not always those who go to church, because sometimes going to church can be, that can be whatever." And so, like I started reading the Bible, and I started watching TV church. I, I would
Mm-hmm.
watch it on a Sunday, and and I did that for years. And hey man, I mean, eventually I start feeling better about myself, and
I,
I started dating, and I've come along. To me, think I come along a long ways, but I just had to go through with that maze of life and disappointments.
I like that maze of life. I love that maze of life. Dang, that is, you just dropped some gems right there. There you go. We spoke about titles of poems and
Yeah,
stuff. Maze of life.
yeah,
um, so I love how you said the Bible. Back before 2020, I knew nothing about the. I mean, I picked up the Bible here or there. I had no idea what was what. I started reading a page a day. Didn't know what I was reading. Didn't know top from bottom, left to right, verses from this, that, the next, the other. Today, I can recite certain things. I can remember things. It's starting to click. But this is, since 2020 that I really started digging into it. And I love how you said that your father said that if people laugh at you because you read the Bible, they are not your friends. That is so true. But here's another thing, that if you have family members that don't support your journey and they might laugh, they might scoff, they might mock at you as well. I know that it sounds rough, ladies and gentlemen, but they're not your family. In the Bible, God says that, and it's all up in there. Sometimes your own family will be your own worst enemies, and do not let that discourage you either.
Yes, yes, yes.
Family, family can do you dirty worse than somebody out in the street can. So you need to be careful of that. I've always remind my family, because I have certain family members that be like, "Well, we're family, we're family." And I'm the one that says I could care less if we're family. That don't have nothing to do with it, because they can do you dirty worse than people out in the street, and you walking around here saying, "Oh, well, we got to stick together. We got to do this. We got to do that because we're family." Okay, you go along with that process if you want to, and I'm gonna just sit back and watch the show. But I know I got a little deep there because that hit home, but it's reality. Be very careful, because it burns me up when I have family members that are stuck in that cycle of, oh, we family, we supposed to, yeah, okay, like, okay, he says you need to get up and remove yourself because that's not your real family. That's also in the book too. So
Yes, indeed, man.
anyway,
Yes, indeed.
so but yeah, so we done opened up another door there. So any last comments on this before we move on to burning
No, he
questions?
just need to grow up.
Yeah. Grow up, get with yourself, sit down, chill out, back up, reevaluate, figure out whatever mess, pay whatever you got to pay back, and pray. Hey, you'll get through it.
Oh yeah.
Hustle, grind, do whatever you got to do to get through it. Easier said than done, but I've been there
Oh
before.
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to chime in on tonight's segment, this is, I said it was powerful. It was powerful. A lot of gems. I'm still stuck on Maze of Life. I think that should be a title of something. I wrote that down in bold. Maze of Life. You got to navigate through the maze of life. Dang, that was so powerful. Please chime in 609 200 1098. That is the official 411 podcast reading between the wines hotline. If you want to let us know how you feel about it tonight, we just gave our opinion. We are not here to give any advice. This is not to substitute any professional mental advice, mental health advice, any financial advice. I'm a financial coach. I'm not a financial planner. So listen, you have to do your own due diligence. But if you want to chime in and let us know if you have a different take on this, feel free to text me 609 200 1098. You can also DM me on any of my social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, TikTok, D Live, Twitch, Daily Motion, whatever works for you. You may also submit something if you want us to review your scenarios. Well, we can do that here. info@larengaines.com. We do a great job of changing around the names and cities and states and all of that stuff to keep it anonymous if you don't want people to know. So, up for the next segment, which is burning questions. Fits so well. I want you all to think about this. These might be some rhetorical questions. You may not need to answer it. You may not be able to answer it right now, especially if you're going through something, and especially if this is resonating with you. You might need to take this and journal. You might need to think about it. Burning questions for tonight. Are you holding on to pain? Or is the pain still holding on to you because you refuse to heal? I'll repeat that again. Are you holding on to pain, or is the pain still holding on to you because you refuse to heal? Let me try to break this down the best way that I can. So, for example, if someone is holding on to pain, there is a painful situation that has happened in someone's life. And every single day that you get up, that's what you focus on. You make it your priority. You talk about it to anybody that you can get in contact with and speak. And you say, remember that I went through? This is what I went through. And now you wake up 6 months from now and you're still speaking about the same thing. I call that an equivalent to playing a same sad song, or having a record that skips and it keeps repeating the same thing over and over and over again. That is you holding on to pain because you are seeking out pain. Pain is not calling your name. You are running to pain, dialing its number and tuning into its frequency and hashing up the same thing over and over and over again. You are holding on to pain. And you have to be very careful for when you meet somebody who is also holding on to their pain. And now you get into a situation with them. And ladies and gentlemen, we have something which is called trauma bonding. And now you think that you found a best friend. You think that you found a soulmate. You think that you found a savior. And the only thing that you are doing is trauma bonding and holding on to pain. And you're holding on to each other's pain and rehashing the same story over and over again to each other. And you're not able to move on. Are you holding on to pain, or is the pain still holding on to you because you refuse to heal? So now we're going to move to the flip side of it. Or is the pain still holding on to you because you refuse to heal? Our example that we dealt with tonight, when we were dealing with Derek tonight, this is example of someone who the pain is still holding on because they refuse to heal. If Derek continues to get into these different relationships and tries to date, the issues are going to resurface itself and he's still going to experience the same pain in somebody else with another relationship, with a scenario, because he refused to heal. He refused to sit back. He refused to take responsibility for his life and himself and do the right thing. So because of that, that painful situation that he experienced with relationship A will repeat itself in situation B, C, D, E, F, G until he stops and says enough is enough. That is an example of pain still holding on to him because he refused to heal. Pain is seeking him out, saying, listen, I'm here. You need to figure out what this situation is, and we need to fix this, and you need to release me. He's not seeking out pain. Pain is seeking him out because he didn't do his work. Burning questions. Are you holding on to pain, or is the pain still holding on to you because you refuse to heal? Birdman, what do you have to say about this?
Hey, he just needs to let it go. It's done. It's over with. Just need to move on. Let it go. And I admit that was my issue too. So I know how it is. It's not easy, but you can do it. Just let it go. Because if you don't, it's gonna get to you physically, and you don't want that to happen. Because like I said, once it gets to you physically, then everything else breaks down. So you just
Hmm.
need to let it go.
That is so true. I'm so thankful that I was able to let it go because I remember somebody warned me. They said, Laren, you better let this thing go. You better let it go.
Yeah,
let go and let God.
yeah, yeah. And I had to learn that myself.
My mentor says God can fix people far way better than you can.
Oh yeah. And like I can't tell you how my dad talked to me, and I was like, "Mom," and she just like,
Well,
"Hey,
we got the little disclaimer here. So I mean, if
yeah,
you, no, I'm just saying.
yeah, yeah, yeah." But now the way he talked to me, and I was like, "Mom," I said, "You ain't left Dad." And Mama said, "Oh, he's been through it. That's why he's saying it the way he's saying it." I'm like, "Okay," and that was it, man.
I would
But
love
because
to
he,
sit
no,
back and
this is what
listen.
he told me. No, and how he put this is what he said. He said, "You come to my house 2:30 in the morning," and he said, "I'm gonna tell you right now. If you go back," he said, "unask the house key, and you can't come to this house unless we here." And I'm like, "Oh, you ain't got to worry about that." When he told me that, I couldn't just come there when I wanted to. I'm like, "Oh no, hey, y'all more important to me than she is."
Mm, I know that's right.
So that was an easy choice, right there. But he said other things, and I had to I understood what he meant, and she did say, she said, how your dad talk, how he is. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I listen. One day we'll do the unfiltered Birdman version. I was cracking up when I sat there and watched some of the replays, and when we try to black out or bleep out the words, he
Uh-huh.
do such a great job of doing it, but I know what you're really saying. I was cracking up when you was telling the story about the dude that met up with the girl and then the husband came home because he didn't go to work. And you said, he said,
Oh
you
no, he
said,
was there at the house.
yeah,
He
yeah,
was
you
going,
said,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. He opened the door. She thought he was gone. Yeah,
you
yeah,
said,
man.
I watched a clip of it and you said, he said, in, sit down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Now
yeah,
you know we know what that means, but when you describe it, oh man, I was rolling. He said he said in sit down.
yeah,
He said
yeah,
can't
yeah,
nobody do it like Birdman. Oh man. Oh boy, we're gonna do an unfiltered version one day. We're
yeah,
gonna have to
yeah.
censor it so that only people can get to it on a certain way. Oh man. All right. So, what last thoughts you got before we go ahead and get out of here? Anything going
Uh,
on in your
man,
world?
if you're in a bad relationship, just leave. And I know it's hard to leave on good terms, but just leave on good terms and you know forgive, and and sometimes you have to say thank you for leaving me,
Hmm.
because you've just made my life better, and you'll be better. So
No, that's right. Sometimes we be so drunk up in love, we're not sober enough to see that that's a blessing in disguise.
exactly,
Let
exactly.
that thing go. So, what we got going on for the rest of the week? What we got
um
in your world?
I everything I'm doing this week is all Zoom, and I think I have a reading tomorrow night. I won't know until tomorrow, but I know Saturday and Sunday. I know Saturday night I have a Zoom reading. Sunday afternoon I have a Zoom reading, but there's another reading coming up, and I don't know if it's on the Saturday morning or it's going to be on the Sunday afternoon, and I'm gonna have to do that again where I choose which one to go to.
Mm.
But I know I'm scheduled for 3 readings, and I don't know. I gotta look at the dates, and like I said, I got a feeling it's gonna be on a Sunday, because the guy, he moved it to Sundays so that, because some of the people were saying, well, we still like for you to come, and so they moved it on to Sunday. So I might have to go to that one, because that's the reason why he put it on Sundays, so I can show there, because most of my readings was on a Saturday at one time, but you know how
Mm.
that changed. So,
Yeah.
and that's about all I got going. Working on videos as always. I try to maintain keeping up my creativity by putting poems with videos, and I'll just go through my old, like today I pulled out folders. I seen poems. I'm like, dang man, where they been? And I'm thinking about doing some videos with them. And if I
Mm.
do, I like to put a lot of people in. This one guy, he told me, and a lot of people say you put water with yours, and they kind of like said, when you don't use water, then we kind of like don't really, we like it, but it don't catch us like when you use water. So I got some ocean videos from when I was out in California, and I'm getting ready to put like 5 poems together. It's gonna be one video, and it's all gonna be the ocean in the background.
That's awesome. Gotta love the nature. Love to get out of nature. Everyone get out into nature at least 10, 15 minutes if you can. That's a minimum, but try to be out there. I try to at least get out there for at least an hour, but it's so therapeutic and it's good for your mental health.
Yeah,
It's good for you. physical health, and unplug. Like when you get out there, don't be running out there with your ear pods on and blasting music and stuff. That's the wrong thing to do. Like you will mess up your connection with the universe. You
I'm
know.
just the opposite, man. That's what got me through the pandemic. And I didn't realize the yard, everything that was in it until the pandemic. And I used to walk before the yard got destroyed by some wild horses got in our yard. And
What?
yeah, they
That's a
broke
whole
the
nother.
fence down because there's a field in the back. They broke the gate down, and they was actually in the yard, and they kind of like messed the yard up. So when I walk out there, my ankles, be sore. But I would go out there and I would walk the yard, and I had listening to, because I like to listen to jazz when I walk. And sometimes I'll listen to Luther and Keith Sweat and all that smooth music. And I learned a whole lot about the yard during that time, man. I walked for like 7 or 8 months out there, man, and I learned so much about it that I didn't know, that I wasn't aware of, especially in the peach garden. And I seen all the berries, and I was like, "Wow, man! I didn't know there was all these berries and grapes and peach. I knew about the peach trees, but
Mhm.
like the mulberries and grapes. I was like, wow, man!" And I just walked through it, and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote. I would write almost 2 to 3 poems every day.
Well, I I think that is amazing. I'm gonna back this thing up again. But you said wild horses broke the fence and got in. I listen. I love animals. I love other people's animals today because I don't own, well, I won't own any pets on my own. I just choose not to after being in pet specialty retail for over 25 years. I choose not to have any pets. But
Yeah.
out of all of them, horses are ones that I don't mess with. I wouldn't even know what to do. First of all, I get startled when I see a deer. I wouldn't even know what to do if I saw a horse just chilling in the backyard like that.
Hey, man, that's funny you said that because I walked out the front door and I was like, oh, whoa! And the horse had walked from the back of the yard to the front of the yard, and Diana said, "Oh, please don't scare him," because she was scared that he might break through there
Yeah, yeah.
and run out in the streets. So I eased back in, and then I waited. Then I peeped out. He was gone. I'm like, oh, he gone now. But
Yeah. Well,
I mean, hey, man, that's crazy. You walk out and there's a big old horse, you
nah,
know, in your yard, man.
I'm
So
I'm good, bro. When I see the deer, I'll
uh-huh.
I'd be like 10 feet away from them, and I look at them and be like, okay, listen, I know you might be scared, but guess what? You ain't got to worry about me coming. I be talking to him just like that. You ain't got to worry. I ain't coming nowhere near you. So don't be looking
Yeah.
crazy. I'm good. I'm gonna keep it moving and keep walking, and you just stay doing what you're doing. Trust and believe I ain't gonna bother you. And they be looking like, yeah. But I wanted to speak to you, and I'm gonna get out of here because I know we getting up against the clock. But um, when it comes to being out in nature, yes, I know we listen to music and stuff, but take time to listen to God's music. God's music will be the wind that blows, the leaves that rustle on the trees, the birds that chirp.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll hear a bee or a fly that buzzes by your ear. That's not an accident when that happens. When that happens, that is God aligning you into the right frequency that you need to be on. Sometimes when we have a lot of, like for this week, I had said, okay, I'm going to back up a little bit. I know I listen to music a lot. Let me pull the ear pods out because maybe I just need to sit back and listen and get a little quiet and see what, God wants me to listen to. When we
Yep.
are listening to music out in his environment, which is nature, we can miss what he's trying to give us and what he's trying to align us to. So yes, it's good. I know we do that. I've done it too, especially when you're on the beach. You want to listen to the music, but some even just that listening to the ocean, that is tapping into certain frequencies, and there's power in that versus some other different things that we do. So
Yeah, when
just
I'm on
wanted
the
to throw
beach,
that out there.
I don't have my plugs in, man. I be listening to the waves. They be talking to me. That's why I be, and I write that in a lot of
Mhm.
my poems how the waves be speaking to me. And I know that I've had people say, "You strange." I say, "Yep." I said, but the waves
Yep.
do talk to me, and they'll talk to you if you just give it a chance.
My pastor said if everybody likes you and everybody is cheering for you and think that you are the best thing, you need to be concerned. But when people say that you're strange, you're weird, you're different, then you might be on the right path. But if everybody is agreeing with you and liking you and this and that and everything's wonderful and amazing, and yeah, nah, that ain't it.
And also, can I give out my
So,
where my books are at?
oh yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
My books. I have 10 books on Amazon, even though I have 14 total books. Four of them are not in print anymore. But the 10 that they are at Amazon.com/author/Birdman313. You can also go to YouTube to see my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/author poet Birdman 31355. That's all one word. You can go to Spotify and click on the coffee, wine, and words, and I have videos on there. I'm on Instagram where I've been posting poems from my books. I only when I do stuff like that, I only post poems from my books because they're copywritten, and people will steal your stuff. So you can go to Instagram, which is birdman313.com, and I'm on Blue Sky, and it's the same thing. I whatever poems I post on Instagram, I posted on Blue Sky under birdman313.com. And that's it.
That is awesome. You had something else
No,
to say?
I
I'm
was
sorry.
just saying,
I
I
cut you.
no, I said, and that's it. You know,
Go ahead and check out Birdman 313. Awesome, amazing catalog of work. Still more coming. And yeah, more great things coming as well. Thank you so much for joining as well. Could not have such an awesome and amazing show without you. You always come
yeah,
through, and I
yeah.
appreciate you.
Sorry, I kind of went off, but hey, man, just I had to kind of like put that out there. So, because I know other people have gone through it too, or they gonna go through it, and at least they can say, "Oh man, I heard this guy say this, and he's so right." you
That's,
know?
that's exactly why we're here. So yeah, no need to apologize. This is real life experiences, and this is exactly what it's meant to do, and we here.
Yeah.
All right, so next week, same place, same time. In the meantime, stay safe and I will say stay cool. But listen, I'll enjoy that. Bring that heat this way. We up there. We 80s, 90s this week, so I'm good with it. I love
You
it.
can have it. But you know what? I'd rather have this heat than to have the snow and ice.
That's why I'm saying I enjoy it. I'll be ready to go off a couple months from now when it start to get a little
Yeah.
cooler. All right. Yeah. All right. So take care. I'll see you
Oh
next week.
yeah, yeah. I'll probably be talking to you anyway during the week. So, but anyway, yeah. Take care, man.
All right. All right. Take care. I'll
Yeah.
talk to you. All right. See ya. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Another episode of Reading Between the Wines. Author Birdman 313 came through. Amazing show tonight. I told you it was going to be powerful. Listen, these are real life experiences that we go through, and you never know what you're going to get when you come here. So, what you can do to help support this movement and possibly help somebody else is please share this video. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Do whatever you need to do to tap in and help somebody else out. If there's something that you like that you heard that sparked some sort of interest, you can go ahead and head on over to LarenGaines.com and sign up for my free monthly newsletter, which is Whispers of Wisdom. Awesome, inspirational content delivered to your inbox once a month. You also can sign up for a free 15-minute consultation. If you want to learn more about this debt-free living lifestyle, you want to get out of debt, you want to stay out of debt, you've had enough of debt, you want nothing to do with debt anymore, head on over to LarenGaines.com, follow the instructions, sign up for the free 15-minute consultation, apply to see if you qualify. This journey is not for everyone. This is only for the folks who have had enough. You are done. You want something different. You want to cut up your credit cards. You don't want to do it anymore. You want to learn the right way to use credit cards. You want to learn the right way to focus on your money and to build wealth and to get yourself together and align spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially. Head on over to LarenGaines.com. Sign up for that free 15-minute consultation. Again, it's not for everybody. If you have not learned your lesson yet, if you have not hit rock bottom, this might not be the journey for you. Talking to the folks who've had enough. I hit rock bottom in 2020, and I said, absolutely not. You fooled me once, fooled me twice. What would happen if I let it happen a third time? Those are the people that I'm speaking to. Enough is enough. We ain't doing it no more. We've done it. We played the fool. We can't do it no more. Won't do it no more. LarenGaines.com. Thank you so much. Please follow me on all of my social media platforms. Check out the different platforms. Again, I do apologize for X. For some reason, we are not live streaming on there, but I do have content, different content, posting daily on all of my social media platforms. So you want to tap in and check out each different platform because different things get posted in different places. But in any case, we have content dropping daily, new shows dropping daily. So check us out on all of our social media platforms. Thank you to my special guests for coming in and stay tuned. Thank you so much. We're out. Another episode 39.
3,
she left
2, 1.
But I'm still paying
And
for
that's
it.
a wrap on today's episode
Disc
of
5
the 411
restoration.
podcast and reading between
Again,
the lines.
thank
Where
you so
growth
much.
is always on the menu,
Have a good night.
and every pour
Take
reveals
care.
a little more
I will
truth.
see you when I see you.
The conversation doesn't end here. Have something to say? Want to weigh in on tonight's burning questions? Text us anytime at the official 411 podcast and reading between the wines hotline at 609-200-1098. Stay plugged in across all social media platforms at LarenGaines. We're live and in the conversation on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube, DLive, Twitch, and Dailymotion. Prefer to listen on the go? The audio version is streaming on most major podcast outlets. Until we meet again, take what you've learned, sip slow, speak truth, and remember, transformation starts within. Powered by the Black Diamond Consultations Network.